If you're here from my socials, then you know that I like to get straight to the point. So here we are taking the PIXIE to a 2x6 closure quick weave. The key to a seamless lace install is good lace. And right after that is the foundation. So my model for today has a pixie cut, and we're going to mold her down so that we can have the flattest effect when it comes to laying her quick weave. You can definitely do this with someone who has longer hair using the braiding method, but I am molding her down. Right now I'm just making sure that her part is in the middle because she wants the middle part, and I'm just combing her hair down in the way that I want it to lay before I start molding it with the Robert Diamond protector. Make sure that wherever you're going to be laying lace, that all of the guest hair is out of the way and not on the forehead. You don't want any hair in the way of the lace. So right now, as I said before, I'm using the Robert Diamond protector so that no glue gets on her hair and she's able to wash this quick weave right out. Use a generous amount so this product does what it has to do. I'm telling you, if you use it right, dry it right, do everything that it says on the bottle, that you'll get a quick weave that is bulletproof, but that also it'll come right off with no damage to your hair. I'm going to link all products in the description. Just be sure to check them out if you want to check out any of the products that I use in the video. So disclaimer, this is a practice session and I did record everything for the most part, but there are some parts that I did not record, and I do have a full tutorial coming out, so be sure to like and subscribe so you can see that. So after I put the Robert Diamond protector on, I'm just making sure that her closure is just laying as flat as possible. I also customized it, before starting to record. Just going to go in and you're going to make your client or your guest hold the lace where you want it to lay. Today I used the Bold Hold protective glue. This is the lemon one, I think. It was like a collab that they did with Alonzo Arnold, and I like it. It's what I've been using so far, and I'm going to do a couple of layers, and make sure you're doing it on the forehead in front of the hairline so that you do not damage the client's edges. Now, the reason why I like to put the glue first is because you're able to trace out the area that you want to place underneath the hairline. It's easier. You can lift the lace up and down, measure it, eyeball it, as you can see I'm doing here, to make sure that I'm placing glue in the right area, and then boom. So when you are doing your layers, make sure you're drying with cool air. Cool air, do not forget that. I'm going in with my second layer, and another rule of thumb is making sure you're using thin layers and letting it dry clear before you go on to the next. Something else to keep in mind is to be very light-handed with the glue. You don't need too much to make sure that your layers are laying properly. Just make sure you're making them thin and light. If you want to see my customization video, drop a 1 in the comment section. I will be dropping full tutorials soon, you guys. Soon. I will be dropping full tutorials. I have something in the works that I know you guys are going to want to opt into. So if you're like, wait, she skipped some parts in this video, there's a method to my madness. Now here I am laying the lace on top of the glue after it dried clear, guys. Remember that. Have the client hold it on one side, and then you're going to hold it on the other, and you're going to take whatever tool you're using, whether it be a comb or an edge brush, and press that lace and that hair into the glue section that you place underneath that lace. Be sure to really press it in. This is what starts your melting process, and get it all in there. Really get it in there. As you can see, it's so melted, I'm able to flip the closure over, and what I'm going to do now is go in and place some of that Robert Diamond protector around her head in the area where the closure will not lay, so I can place the first cap and not get any of the Robert Diamond underneath the closure, because I'm going to need to cut that cap part out so that it's not visible underneath the lace. Pay attention now. I know I said a lot just now. So this is just a preference for me. You don't have to do this. I like to use a beige cap whenever I do quick weaves, just so I can make sure I can see exactly where their hair stops underneath. And once I go in to put the second cap on, I can match it directly with the cap underneath. I find that whenever I use a black one, I can't really see. I don't know, I may be blind. So you don't have to use a beige cap. You can stick with the black cap like most people use. Now what I did was place that cap on, and I'm cutting out her ears to make sure that the cap conforms to her head. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm pressing the cap into the rubber diamond so they can start to mold together. And this is what creates that barrier so that the glue does not get on the client's hair. So off camera, I allowed that first cap to dry, and then I also cut out the cap in the area underneath the closure so that I can now sew the lace right on the edges of the cap so that it can stay, you know, connected to the cap and not like just slide off at any moment. So I'm sewing it down to the cap, and as you guys can see, I'm using a close stitching method so everything lays flat, seamless, and flushed. Close-up look, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I do not recommend sewing from one side of the closure all the way to the other, which is why I sewed from the one side of the closure to the middle part of the back, and then I moved over to the other side where I am now to sew that side down and meet the other. The reason why I do this is because I find that I'm able to pull the lace taut and sew, as opposed to sewing all the way around from one side to the other and making the closure shift in the midst of sewing. That used to happen to me all the time, so I find this works so much better. Now I'm going in with my spiderweb method to connect the area of the closure that's not on the cap so that everything lays seamless and does not move. So now that I am done sewing the closure down, I'm going to get the hair out of the way, dry it down a little bit more because I did notice that it was still a little bit damp and we didn't have a hooded dryer, so I had to use a handheld. And now I am going in and cutting off that first cap to make sure that her hair is protected underneath. After cutting off this first cap, I'm going to go in and use the second cap so that we have a double layer of protection. And actually the second cap will be the third layer of protection because that rubber diamond is the first layer. I'm telling you, trust me, it works. So I'm going in with the second cap now for this third layer of protection. And I am going to do the same thing with the rubber diamond and mold it around the closure. So right now I'm cutting her ears out, so of course that it conforms to her head. And once I add that rubber diamond on top, here you go, I'm doing it around the closure and on her hairline to make sure that the cap protects all of her hair. Now once I go to cut this off, you're going to see we have now created a full protection so that no glue at all gets on her hair. And if you're wondering, yes, this is the fourth layer of protection. So she has 4 layers of protection that will not allow glue to get to her hair. So now my favorite part is cutting the lace. Make sure you're doing so in a zigzag motion or use pinking shears to do so. Cutting straight across causes a line of demarcation and it's too obvious to the eye. So once I cut the lace off, I like to take my rat tail comb and go in areas that still need some glue and sparingly put glue in those areas and then press them down the same way I did the first time I went around and put the glue underneath the lace. And it is time to melt. Now for me, I put that thing on so tight that they're holding on for dear life, but I'm telling you, it works. It's going to melt it into the skin. So now I'm going in with my hot comb, and I like to do this while the band is on because then, you know, it's a layer of protection so I don't burn their forehead. Now for me, I like to sew the first weft from one side of the lace closure all the way to the other side to create a barrier so that when I do put glue on the hair, nothing gets on her neck, nothing gets on her hair, at the nape of her neck, and we just know where she's fully protected. The whole point of the Quickweave or the 2025 Quickweave is so that no glue gets on the hair. We do not want to damage our client's hair with glue. And of course, I am matching the Secret HD lace closure with the Prestige Hair Co. Regal Indian Wavy Bundles. You can get that at my site at www.prestigehairco.com. And if you are someone who is looking to wholesale and looking for great raw Indian hair, definitely email me so I can help you out with that. Now I'm finally using the 30-second glue to get to the cut bar, and that is gluing the hair on. So now that I have sewn that first weft on, I just like to go around. She already used these wefts before, so we're just going in and placing them in a way that forms a U shape and connects us to the last weft. Like I said, I'm creating a full tutorial where I really go in depth, and this video I would say is in depth, but I know for me, I like to really explain. So right now I'm just letting you guys watch so you guys can see, but yes. Go in and put your wefts in a U motion, connecting them to the last weft that you placed so that it creates a seamless line all the way around the head. I like to make sure that the wefts go from one side of the lace closure to the other when it comes to anything that I'm bringing towards the face, because it gives the maximum coverage and flows to the face so well that you can have face framing that just falls and blends so well, as you'll see at the end of the video. Did you have a better view here of what I meant when I say create U's? And if these are the wefts that are not going around to the sides of the closure, connect them to the last weft that you put before them, so it looks like it's literally just one weft going around the head. So you see, how it was 3 different wefts that I connected right there, and it still looks like one line. That's what I mean. Now we are at the top of the head, and you can see that I have created these semicircles all the way around. And even though I did have to connect wefts together to make one, you see that it is one seamless line going around the closure. And now you're going to see how I place the last closure around, the last weft around the closure. So now that the hair is pulled in, I'm going in and I'm giving her middle part. This is a 2x6, as you all know, and I just love them for middle parts, especially for those who are not going to change their part from middle to side, because it's just so much more convenient, lasts longer, and it's just easier to deal with. It's my favorite. It's really become my favorite. Now I am going to go in with the Nairobi foam to start my first process of molding the hair and flattening it down. I love Nairobi because even though it works so well, it doesn't leave the hair sticky. I love how it gives the hair a natural luster. It combats humidity and frizz. Whenever you're going to style, this needs to be your first step. And I'm telling you, the hair is going to look so beautiful. It's going to have a natural shine. It's going to withhold in the elements. You'll love it. And most times I put a cap on the client's head and sit them under the dryer, but because we didn't have a hooded dryer where we were, I had to blow dry it with a round brush. And I love to use the round brush whenever I don't have a hooded dryer, because the round brush is ceramic and it straightens out the hair pretty well and it flattens it so well. Like, look at that, it looks so good. But now I'm going in with the Revlon blow dryer brush just to straighten it out a bit more. Since, like I said, I didn't have the hooded dryer. I love this stuff, and I love to use this for my first step of silk pressing before I go in with any like flat iron or curling iron. So this is one of my favorite parts, volumizing the front area. I am using the hot comb to volumize and push the hair back off the forehead. I find that this makes the hair look more natural as opposed to just hot combing everything straight down towards the face. I'm going in with a concealer and a flat angle brush to just put some of her complexion shade. Even though it looks pretty good already, I just was like, let me just go in with a little bit of concealer, make it look a little bit more realistic, blend a little bit better. So I did that. Don't forget, I did customize before the video, so the knots were already bleached, so that also helped. She was praying for dear life. That I told y'all, I put that elastic band on so tight, like, look at her forehead and how red it is. But the melt, y'all, the melt. And because this is a 2x6 closure, you want to be very careful. Like in the area that I'm hot combing, you can kind of see where the wefts are. And I'm going to show you in the next clip how you can create like a V-shaped, like widow's peak to cover that up. So this is what I mean right here. I am doing a diagonal part that's creating like a widow's peak, and I'm hot combing that portion behind the part to cover the ends of the lace closure and the wefts that we glued and connected to the Quickweave, just to make it look, you know, natural and cover it up. That other side, y'all, this was a practice session. Don't judge me. It was really getting on my nerves, but it still looked pretty good. And after the video, I was able to go in and make it look, get more coverage on the left side. Not the side that I'm on right now, but the other side. I like to press with the hot comb, get it as flat as possible, because the only volume that I want on the hair is the one that I'm creating. Not mountaintops, not it looking wiggy. I hate anything lace looking wiggy, so I hot comb for dear life. The 2-inch Hot Tools curling iron is one of my favorites. It's huge, it's big, so it creates really big volume curls. Oop, got her. But disclaimer, y'all, this is my god sister, so she's all right, y'all. She's all right. So in this section, I like to curl with the curls going upward. That means I'm curling with the clamp underneath the curl and curling the curl upwards and then pin curling. As you can see, I'm doing that again. I put the clamp underneath, I curl with the curl going upwards and towards the head, and then I'm making sure I'm pin curling when I'm done, just to cool off the curl so that they last longer. Now any section on the top of the head, I'm curling the curl under and towards the midsection of the head so that it all falls flat and evenly and envelopes into the curl beneath it. Okay, you can see it better here. So here, this is the bottom section, so I'm curling that curl upwards with the clamp underneath this section of the hair, and making sure I'm still curling upwards and clipping with the duck bow clip so that I can pin curl that. And with this top section where the closure is included, I don't part in a horizontal, I part like in a diagonal as you guys saw. And then I curl this section in that same upwards motion as I did the rest of the back and bottom of the head. So I am curling with the clamp underneath the hair section and upwards and then pin curling. And then this last section, I am curling with the barrel underneath and the clamp on top and towards the face. And this is what hugs the face and creates those face framing layers. Now, the whole reason of me doing this practice session was to practice combing out my curls. So the girls have been eating up the curls that, you know, they've been combing out, and it has like that uniform like flow, and I just could not get it. I could not get it. So I have a signature look that everyone loves. I'm posting it here. But you know, it's always good to stay on the trend and learn new things. So I called my girlfriend up, my god sister, and here we are doing what we gotta do, because your girl gotta make her coin in 2025 and want to give the girls what they want. And that is one of the things that I talk about in my Price Like a Pro ebook. If you have not caught my last few videos, I talk about how learning new techniques and staying on trend keeps you as a premium stylist and allows you to charge top dollar for the techniques that you are offering. So I'm using a fine-tooth comb to comb out the curls and the layers to see the uniformity that I've created. But wherever I feel like I need to go in and fine-tune the cut, I'm doing so and continuing to cut and fluff the layers to see if they fall the way that I want them to fall. Now, this area where I say I was practicing the comb out, oh my God. It really makes a difference what kind of comb you use, how you, the direction you comb, all of that matters. And I was so happy with what I came out with, because it's been so hard for me to get these looks, y'all. And I know as a seasoned vet, a lot of people look up to me, love my work, but I'm so hard on myself, and we all are. And I was just like, I just cannot get it right. So this is my first of many practice sessions to, you know, give y'all these volume looks, these fluffy curls, peacock. I'm going to be doing some more and fine tuning this so that by mid-year, it's going to be like, yes, girl, you got it. So make sure you like, subscribe, save this video, share it to a friend, whoever, so you can do the same thing. Because in 2025, it's about stepping up and being the best hairstylist that we can be. Look at that. Who's not going to want to pay you top dollar for that? Y'all let me know if y'all want the full tutorial, because in April, something big is coming. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Oh, and if you have any questions about what I went over today, feel free to drop them in the comment section. Even though this is not a full tutorial and I did like skip over the layering process, how I was cutting, different things, feel free to ask any questions. I do not mind answering.